Hetal Dalal, COO of iias, the institutional advisory firm, is now joining us on the show. They've come out with a report which basically rates companies and also parts of the market based on a corporate governance scorecard matrix. They basically rated companies at the top of the list, companies at the bottom of the list. Before I sort of welcome Hetal in, let me just quickly tell you what the methodology really is. Just the first two set of graphics that we can put on the corporate governance scorecard matrix is the first one. It'll tell you how this has been done. They've assigned a 30% weight to rights and equitable treatment of all shareholders, a 30% weight to responsibilities of the board, 30% weight to disclosure and transparency, and a 10% weight to the role of stakeholders. Then there are, what do these scores really mean? The next set of graphics, top of the list is leadership. So that basically is anything above equal to or above 70. Good is 60 to 69. Fair is 50 to 59. Basic is less than 50, I guess. You didn't want to call it poor. So kind of calling it basic. Welcome to the show. Thanks very much for being here. So what were the findings, the big findings?
So let's split this up into two pieces, right? One is that we evaluated the BSE 100 companies, and we also evaluated 50 companies which listed on BSE between 2015 and 2017. BSE 100 companies we've been evaluating for the past 3 years. So one is just drawing a trend line between what has happened 3 years ago vis-a-vis now. And of course, for the IPO companies, it's compare and contrast. In terms of medians, right, Sensex companies' median scores have increased from 60 to 61. But the highest score has been seen a significant jump from 76 to 79. Now you would argue that 3 points looks minimal, but it's a set of 70 questions, and the questions are then weighted downwards to 100. So therefore, a 3-point jump is actually quite material. So at the higher end, companies are doing well. At the lower end, again, we are seeing actually a pull down. 47 as a lowest score last year has become 45 for the BSE 100. For the IPO companies, the median are significantly lower. And what's happened also is...
Let us come to that. Just you said that these are a set of 70 plus questions that they answer.
Yes.
And these are this is a yes or a no, and basically fact-based questions. So this is subjective, and you basically would have to rate based on their response.
So this is an assessment that we do based on publicly available information. There are 70 questions. Every question you score on 0, 1, 2. 1 is typically a median where there is a checkbox, something's been done. 0 is of course nothing's been done. 2 is where you are actually at best practice level. So every question has a 0, 1, 2. A simple example would be, do you have a dividend policy? Yes, I have a dividend policy. 1. Do you have a dividend policy which actually articulates what is your target payout ratio? Because that's really what the communication is about. It's not about writing a policy in English language. Then you get more points. So a simple, this is just a simple explanation.
So what, 75 odd questions?
70 questions. And you score on 0, 1, 2. And we've evaluated these 150 companies based on publicly available information, which is essentially their annual reports, their stock exchange filings, and website disclosures.
Okay. So Hetal, now tell us which are the companies which top the list within the BSE 100 as well as within the IPO list.
Sure. There are 10 companies which we've disclosed at the top 10. These are HDFC, Infosys.
There's Cipla.
Yes, Cipla, Dr. Reddy's, Unilever, Hindustan Unilever, Tata Motors, Tata Power. So these are
the list is
on. Thank you.
Which ones have probably within these? Which ones do you think have the maximum amount of corporate governance, and which ones have probably even incrementally improved from the time that you probably saw it last?
So I think when we look at the category, like we talked about leadership category, we have 6 companies in the leadership category, vis-a-vis 5 last year. So there has been at the higher end an improvement, and like I talked about, the final highest score has also improved. So the 6 companies in leadership category are Cipla, HUL, HDFC, Infosys, Wipro, Tata Power. So these would be the 6 companies in the leadership category, which is a score of 70 plus. So if you look at the interval of 50 to 70 and 70 plus, it's a fairly steep slope. It's not really easy to graduate there just by doing checkbox exercises. The governance practices have to be very institutionalized for that to actually take place. So these are companies in leadership. I think the companies which have done tremendously well, we talk about Cipla. 2 years ago when we looked at the score of Cipla, it was actually fairly in the average category. And then you looked at, over 2 years, past 24 months, there's been a substantial improvement. HDFC score has also improved substantially. But also one of the things we should look at a group level, right? The Tata Group this year, when you look at the scores, has done tremendously well. So I remember 3 years ago and 4 years ago when we put out the scores, my first reaction was, where is the Tata Group in all of this, right, in the top 10? This year you've got 2. Last year we had 1, you've got 2, and also the average scores of the group. So you now have 8 companies in BSE 100, 8 Tata Group companies in BSE 100, and the median scores for the group itself has actually gone up. So the group has done a lot more in terms of, most of them are now with integrated reporting, following integrated reporting, transparency disclosure level, better. Even board constructs are changing. The 10-year directors are no longer on the board. So a lot of these changes are actually being made across the group.
If I don't look at the leadership, the top, the best basically, but look at the next, which is good. Here, there is actually a drop, right? I mean, Sensex companies from 2070 score of 50%, it's now 44. If you look at BSE 100, this is last year, 2018, it was 41, it is 39.
Yes.
So there is and I'm assuming that most companies would fall here in this category.
So some of the, one of the changes of Sensex, of course, is just the fact that the Sensex constituents have changed. So some of the changes have happened because of that. But when you look at BSE 100, yes, I think medians remaining stable at 58 vis-a-vis last year has been difficult. And at the higher end we've seen companies do better, but at the lower end we've also seen a stretch downwards. So given where the environment is, it's really brought the governance practices to fore and tested them. And that's possibly the way to look at it.
Hital, since we have you here, I mean, the news just